For a walk, are we happy with this?
No, I do want it walked around a bit.
Did you see yesterday's stuff?
No. Did they answer yet? No.
I took them, we're calling.
Hi.
What's up?
Hi.
Oh, okay. So here we are. Who's not in there? Nick, slide over a little, or maybe go behind.
Me.
Yes. Okay, so we have,
Giselle. Gerline.
Billy.
Nick.
and over here we have,
Melissa, Jocelyn, Larry, and Jorge.
okay, so what we're going to do today is talk about what energy is and what wind energy is and what we can do with it. So first tell me what energy is. Okay, so what does that actually mean? What does it look like?
Moving.
Okay, so Nick, say that a little louder. What does it look like?
It could be moving in kinetic
Right.
form.
So if we see movement, we have energy. If there's no movement, no energy. Except for sound, but that's something else. So I shouldn't do that? Okay. I'll try not to talk with my hands. So energy is the ability to move, and it's the ability to do work. And when we don't see movement, it's potential. And when we do see it, it's
Kinetic.
right. So in wind energy, we need to find a way to get from potential to kinetic energy. How do we go? Where do you see wind energy? Where can we see it?
Sometimes when you look at the trees, the branches.
Okay, really loud so they can hear you.
Sometimes when you look at the trees, the branches move and the leaves.
Okay, so we find wind energy outside. Where else do we find wind energy?
Fans.
Say that again.
And fans.
In a fan. Mr. Crosby's class, where do we find wind energy?
Farm or a wind turbine?
Okay. Where else? Could we get wind in here right now?
No.
If you open it.
Okay. Is that the only way? Could you get wind in your room? Oh my gosh, what's Mr. Crosby doing?
Creating wind.
How's he doing that?
Blowing.
Right. So if you blow the air that's here, you can actually create wind. Right. So what we need to do is figure out a way that we can go. We need to do 2 experiments. One experiment goes from potential to kinetic energy. Wind not moving to wind moving. And the other one goes from the transformation of energy, which means changing wind energy into something else. Now, somebody in the other class mentioned wind farms. Have you been to a wind farm?
No.
Have you seen that, like a picture of them? Oh, we actually have a picture of them. Let's see if we can hold this up. Wind farm.
Right there.
It's a whole bunch of windmills.
So you've seen those wind farms before? So what is that wind farm actually turning that wind energy into?
Electricity.
So electricity, right. So we're transforming wind energy into electrical energy. You need to be able to show that. Now, we're not going to a wind farm. And you're not building one of these huge windmills to do that. But we need to be able to show first wind going from not moving to moving.
We could use
What, like a pinwheel?
Yeah.
The things you blow on? Okay, so we have it and it's not moving, and then how do we get it to move?
Blowing.
You could blow on it. What else could you do to get it to move?
Stick it outside on a windy day.
You could. What else could you
Fan.
get it to move? Use a fan. What else could you get it to move? Right, if you blow it, like Mr. Crosby was doing. So we could get that to move. How, that could be a really neat experiment. How can you get this pinwheel to move?
How can you create wind energy?
Right, from this pinwheel. How could you get this pinwheel to move? Right, because we're inside, and I think a pinwheel is doable, because we can make that, right? And then we can find ways to move it. Now, what about transforming the energy? How could we get that pinwheel to turn into maybe electrical energy?
When a wire do it,
Okay, so if the pinwheel moves, what's it going to hit?
So if you put a wire in that thing, it just makes electricity.
oh, you have to make a wire and hook it up to like the wall or something.
Okay, so if I've got a windmill here spinning, and I put a wire on the windmill, and then I put the wire on the wall, that makes electricity.
Inside of the electric something.
Yeah, but then the electricity comes from the electric socket, not the windmill.
We don't plug it up there.
What happens if windmill to electricity? What happens?
It goes on, they have like a wire thing that goes into the ground and it
Yeah,
goes
but how does the electricity get from the windmill into the wire?
How can we prove that there's electricity in that wire?
Because there's a generator.
How can we prove there's electricity in the wire?
If you can light up a light bulb.
Say that again?
If you can light up a light bulb.
If we can light a light bulb, we can prove there's electricity.
Is something
So
like
that wire,
to the generator?
wait, forget the generator. The wire has to be attached to what?
The light bulb.
The light bulb. We have to get that wire somehow attached to the generator, to the light bulb, so that when we turn the windmill, the bulb lights, right? So that's the transformation of wind to electricity. So we need to do two different experiments, and one group is going to do potential to kinetic. Can you write that in the Google Doc, somebody? One group is going to do potential to kinetic wind energy, and one group is going to do the transformation of energy. So who's going to do what?
So that means that either you guys or the guys in New York are going to have to do an experiment that goes from no wind to wind blowing to make something spin around. Okay? And then another group is going to have to take that action of something being spun around and turn that into electricity. So you want the one, who's going to do the one where we don't have wind and then somehow there's wind blowing, and which group is going to do turning the wind into electrical power? Or it doesn't have to be electricity, there's other ways that you could spin that and it could...
You can turn it into wind power.
Like there's windmills...
Wind power to wind power?
No, wind to electricity.
Right. So they want to do the transformation. You're going to do the go from no wind to wind.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do then, so make sure you write that down, who's doing what. And so what you're going to do is you're going to come up with an experiment. You have 1 week to do this. You're going to come up with an experiment that demonstrates wind going from potential to kinetic energy, and you're going to write up that experiment, complete with materials and steps and everything. And what Mr. Crosby's class is going to do is they're going to write up an experiment that goes from wind energy to another kind of energy. And then you're going to switch the experiments. So you're going to do both experiments and they're going to do both experiments. You're only writing up one and they're writing up one. And they're going to get...
like do it though?
Yep.
They're gonna see it.
And then you're going to give them your experiment and they're going to do it. And they're going to do an experiment and give you their experiment and you're going to do it. Well, we'll put it into the docs. We'll put it on the wiki. It'll be put on the wiki. But we'll have a form for you, so the steps of the experiment, so you can fill that out. And you have 1 week to get that done. And then we'll come back next week and exchange experiments. Okay?
So we're doing trivial?
If that's what you choose to do.
So what is each group doing?
So this group is doing potential to kinetic energy. and they're doing the transformation.